I don't cross my T's, I don't dot my I's, I won't say pretty please, or speaking little white lies. I've got a rebel soul.
Welcome to Plethodon Party, Blue Ridge Bonanza. We're getting ready to head out. We just got some gas. We're getting the map dialed, and we got the binder ready to go. This isn't a joke. This is no joke.
No, we got this dialed in. Have had it dialed in for months.
Yeah, we've been planning this trip for about a year now, and the day has come. So we're gonna be spending this entire week throughout the Southern Appalachian Mountains in search of tons of different species of Plethodon salamanders, and we're totally gonna see a bunch of other awesome stuff along the way. And we're gonna get some sweet video footage, tons of awesome photographs, camping, good food, so let's get ready to rock. To kick off the trip, we are going to be targeting one of Virginia's endemic salamanders known as Plethodon punctatus, the cow-knob salamander. Now, most people would look at this weather and be pretty disappointed if they were getting ready to head to their vacation and it looked like this, but Frank and I are quite the opposite because this is exactly what you want for a salamander trip. We also got Rony Boy joining us on this adventure. All right, y'all, we just arrived to our first spot. We came here last year in November for the Shenandoah trifecta, as we like to call it, which includes Plethodon Shenandoah, Plethodon Virginia, and Plethodon punctatus. And right now we are in the range of 2 out of those 3, Plethodon punctatus, the cow-knob salamander, and Plethodon Virginia, the Shenandoah mountain salamander. So this should be a pretty fun way to kick off the trip, and we're undoubtedly gonna find at least 2 of those. And as I'm saying that, Frank's got our first target.
And he's got a bit of a rusty stripe too. You're welcome.
So there we go. We got our first salamanders to kick off this Plethodon party, and it's a nice one. This is Plethodon Virginia, the Shenandoah mountain salamander, and this is a really pretty one with a little bit of a red stripe. American toad, and another Shenandoah mountain salamander. So we are hitting our mark on the Shenandoah mountain salamander, but this is our main target of the night. This is Plethodon punctatus, the cow-knob salamander.
Honestly cooler than the one with the full red, because that's like more red.
Yeah, that one's got some serious white coming up on the sides and a broken red stripe. Super sick. So a little funny story real quick about this guy. This is a white spotted slimy, right?
Plethodon cylindrius, yes.
Yeah. So last time we were here, we were so tired. It was like 3 a.m. and we were set that this was Plethodon punctatus, and we spent an hour or 2 photographing him, and then later we got back to realize we were idiots and that it was in fact slimy, but not this time.
That night we had started our night driving like 3.5 hours to Shenandoah National Park. We got the Shenandoah salamander. Then we came back here. By the time we finally found one that looked exactly like this, we were like, oh, finally, that's the coolest one we've ever seen. And then, no, dude, no, it's... Oh, did you just...
I think I did.
Oh my God.
There's another punctatus, and I think I just got him eating something, or I don't know what he did. A little red eft on the move. We are continuing down south into the Blue Ridge Parkway, and we are at our next stop for the Virginia endemic Plethodon sharando, the big levels salamander. Basically just an interesting looking redback. But we have to get it because it's here. And isn't this weather just awesome?
Beautiful.
This is proper vacation weather for a herper right here. Absolute monsoon. All right, so we got our first Plethodon sharando, or big levels salamander. There's a couple things I wanted to point out as we look at this guy. You kind of notice it if you rewind a little bit in the position that he was just in. But if you compare this species to a redback, they're far longer limbs and larger head really set them apart from Plethodon cinereus or the redback salamander. The like metallic coloration on his tail is another giveaway. You'll be able to tell like these guys definitely look different, but at the first couple times you see him, you really start questioning like, is this actually the one that I'm looking for? But it definitely is. There's a second sharando right there.
There's some more. Better metallic-y though. Yeah, dude, it's nice as go.
We're up to about 9 now. This is too easy. Adds to the lure. Oh, that was sick. Oh, he looks pretty sweet from the side. Yeah, we're just getting better and better as we continue up the path. Hopefully we'll find a banger. All right, so we started to notice that quite a few individuals are starting to look a lot prettier as we go up in elevation. And I have heard before that the higher elevation you go, the more of that signature cobalt metallic-y modeling they get. I don't think we've realistically probably climbed enough elevation for this to be factual at this point, but personally, the ones that we've seen tonight are getting better the higher we go up. So, oh, there's another one right there. And he is pretty sweet. Construction. As little as they may just be a road. Should we manhandle him and show him how you tell the difference? Look at his throat, it's light. I know it looks exactly the same as a glutinosis, but it's... There's a really attractive Salamanders with the big levels right underneath of them. And I think we have our individual we're gonna photograph right here, unless we see a better one. But they are everywhere tonight. How many think we're up to, like 50?
Probably like 17 million.
You really couldn't ask for better salamander conditions right now. We are going to continue south into Virginia, and our next target is going to be Plethodon hubrichti, the Peaks of Otter salamander. This is a species I'm particularly really excited to see because I went to this location about a year ago and I got completely skunked. I was there for hours and I flipped almost every rock on that hill. And I think it was just too dry, but tonight it's gonna be hard to miss them. So I will see you guys at Peaks of Otter. Our first major obstacle of the trip. It was bound to happen. But we adapt and we overcome. And if not, it is what it is.
Oh no, we're getting a hubrichti tonight, dude.
It is 5 in the morning.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna try and get a hubrichti before heading to bed here and get some hammers. No rest
For the wicked.
Well, about 1 minute in, there's my lifer Plethodon hubrichti in situ. the peaks of otter salamander, and it's one of the most dull ones, according to Frank, that he's seen, but we'll definitely see some more. Well, there's a lot of them out, and we ended up finding 3 pretty ones. They come in like 3 different color variants. Some are bronze, some are silver, and some are covered in gold flecking. These are more the bronze variant, but you can see just how shimmery and pretty these salamanders are. Such an exciting species for me. I got completely skunked on these last year at this spot, so it's awesome to be back here with some rain. Okay, so first night of the Plethodon Party, Blue Ridge Bonanza, 0 sleep. It is 6:39 in the morning.
Wait, 0 sleep, but how many salamanders? Like 6 species?
We got all of our targets. The main target was peaks of otter, which we just finished photographing, and we even got our bonus species. So we're off to a really good start, but we paid for it with a lot of rain, lack of sleep, but why sleep on a trip like this whenever there's salamanders out?
Sleep's for after the trip.
Pretty sweet looking salamanders with all that bronze mottling. What's the next step of the operation, Frank?
Next up is our last bonus species for a while. We're gonna stop for Plethodon Dixie at an undisclosed location, not in Dixie Caverns. It's the Dixie Caverns salamander, is the common name if you don't know. But we're gonna hammer those, and then we're gonna get some biscuits. And I'm really looking more forward to the biscuits at this point. We're probably gonna have to hold the umbrella more so that we can get photographs without drowning our camera gear, but gotta do what you gotta
Maybe
do.
get some sleep, who knows? Oh, ASMR. On our way down the mountain.
As well as just a plain biscuit on the side with some strawberry jelly.
First food stop of the trip. What do you got?
The cotton jammer biscuit, fried chicken with Alabama white sauce, gas, and keeping me alive.
I got a regular biscuit with blueberry jam. And then I got the bless your heart with bacon, chipotle. So we just finished up getting breakfast. If you are in the Roanoke area, I highly recommend hitting up Scratch Biscuit Company. It was absolutely phenomenal. We are getting ready to head down to see our final Virginia endemic target, which is Plethodon Dixie, the Dixie Cavern salamander. It's a species that I've only ever seen juveniles of, so if we can get a nice adult to photograph, that would be awesome. And then after that, we are going to continue our journey south to the Tennessee-North Carolina border into the Cherokee National Forest to search for Plethodon Yanalasi salamander, and Plethodon welleri, the Weller salamander. These are absolute showstoppers of salamanders that I've only ever seen in field guides, so I'm super stoked to see some in real life. Well, here's our first reptiles of the trip. This is the eastern worm snake. Worm snakes are so underappreciated. I think they're so cool. Such a unique little snake. On the road again, going places that I've never been. Going to get some Yanalasis and Willeri. Well, we struck out kind of on Dixie. We still got, well, yeah.
A freshly hatched individual is still an individual.
That's true. Just no big adults to photograph, but that was just a bonus, so nothing hurt there. We did get that cool worm snake, which is something I have not gotten to photograph yet, so that was sweet. But we are on our way down to the Tennessee-North Carolina border into the Cherokee National Forest now for some sweet Plethodons, and we're getting back to the main event.
The Northern Cherokee National Forest, that is.
Yes.
Time I close my eyes.
What we got on the back there?
and only beauty spot, North Carolina.
Fire.
This is my first time and it is
Juicy
not
spring
disappointing.
foliage, too.
All right, guys, camp is all set up for the night. It's like 5 p.m., so we have a while until we're gonna go to bed. But it was nice to get everything set up ahead of time, so when we get back, we can just hop straight in bed. Because we are running on practically no sleep, so we're going to absolutely crash tonight. But Frank and I are gonna go explore a little bit around Beauty Spot, maybe look for some cool plants or any critters that may be out right now. But I'll catch up with you guys out there. Got a barred owl somewhere up here. Oh yeah. Here's our second snake of the day and our second reptile of the trip. The northern ringneck snake, Diadophis punctatus. Familiar face back home. It's a pretty vibrant one. So we've just been messing around with some wildflower photography. I've been doing some wide angle shots with these trilliums and Rony boy. There's our barred owl friend. We try this jumbo squid and garlic sauce. Not bad. Then take some sourdough, dip it in that garlic oil. Eating squid on top of a mountain in the Blue Ridge. Fire. There's my lifer Yanalasi salamander. And I was not expecting them to be this big. That is an absolute unit of a Plethodon. I'm gonna try and get this one out and maybe get some photos. That is remarkable. The Yanalasi salamander is a species that I have dreamed of seeing for years. And that is a dream come true tonight. My heart is beating so quick. This is such a cool animal. Dang. Frank's videoing a Carolina Mountain Dusky Salamander currently on the wall. It's a really nice looking one. That is also a lifer for me. I've seen a few of them today, but the Yanalasi was the first of the night. Here's a better looking Carolina Mountain Dusky Salamander. Desmognathus carolinensis. Sweet.
These things make me so happy, dude. Plethodon montanus, the northern gray cheek salamander. They're pretty small here. I've never really seen a big one, but
still a lifer for me. And another Yona. 3 Yonas now.
yeah, comparatively, dude. Why would you even want to see that?
The size comparison. Well, it has quickly turned into a pretty killer night. We have our second target for this spot. This is Plethodon welleri, the Weller salamander. And this is another lifer for me, and this is such a stunning species. It's just unreal looking with that brassy bronze flecking going on all throughout the body. Look at that, man. So cool. And the Jonas hanging out up there still. So there's a lot of northern gray cheeks on this hill, and for some reason a lot of them are really small. This one's a decently sized one up on this rock here. But man, we killed it tonight. Lots of Jonas. I think we got, what, 4 wellers?
I think I got like
3?
6.
Oh, you saw more. I think I saw 2. But yeah, we killed it tonight. You guys are gonna see a lot of cool photos. And we're gonna get to bed at a decent time tonight. So we got 2 really attractive Carolina Mountain Duskies here. Look at the red on that one. Dang. There's so many of them out. We have woodcocks outside of our tent right now calling. That peent sound. It's so cool. Hearing them right there. I also hear a bunch of barred owls, whippoorwills. It's just so cool to camp right by this stuff. Today was an awesome day. We got all of our targets, got a lot of awesome photos, and we're going to be doing it again tomorrow. And I'm excited to finally get some sleep. If you can't tell, I'm extremely tired. So I will see you guys in the morning. Really can't ask for much better of a camping spot than this.
I wish you could
Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, May 14th. We are on technically day 3 of the Plethodon Party, but this thing is just beginning. It started last night with the Jonas and Wellers, and we're really starting to feel like we're in the south now. So today we are going to start off with a little side quest for Desmognathus tillii, the max patch dusky salamander. And then we're going to make our way south into the Great Smoky Mountains after we get some food in heavenly Asheville. And we're stopping at a little Dunkin' real quick for Frank's coffee.
Which I don't know why I thought they were so crucial, but
Just got our donuts. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Rocky's Hot Chicken Shack before we go get some salamanders.
probably not going to be the best for our bellies while we're out in the heat, hiking around, looking for salamanders. But it has to be done regardless. Joe cleaned it out. I get so mad when I got to Georgia and it was like bugs splattering every 2 seconds. shovel nose?
No. I think I got a wilder, eh? Tiny guy.
I did go to a more southerly spot last time, but I would find it surprising that a stream.
Oh. Let's go. Lifer.
It's a pretty nice one.
Pisgah black belly salamander.
Well,
So that clip you guys just saw there was us flipping this salamander, and this is the Pisgah black-bellied salamander, Desmognathus mavricolus. Well, it's not the prettiest one, but this is my lifer Max Patch Dusky salamander out of the Pisgah National Forest. Hopefully we can find a better one. Plethodon cylindrius.
you can tell by the white chin. That's why I haven't flipped over like that. But let him go back under as well.
We have quite a few Max Patch Duskies now, and a possible Desmognathus lycos. We're not too sure yet, but that could be a wolf dusky salamander, which would be a lifer for each of us. But either way, pretty productive. We're gonna get some sweet photos of these guys. Alright guys, so we are currently heading to Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and we are going to be after a couple species that are endemic to that national park and surrounding areas, a few of them. The main targets for tonight are going to be Plethodon jordani, the red-cheek salamander, and Desmognathus imitator, the imitator salamander. I'm also stoked to get a couple shots of hopefully some Cherokee mountain duskies, which is Desmognathus aratihi, and then we'll probably stop for some Cherokee black-bellied salamanders on the way down the mountain, because all the other ones I listed are high elevation endemics. And we'll stop for Desmognathus ganige squatli and some Santitla duskies, Desmognathus santitla. It should be a pretty good night with probably some of the most salamander diversity that we're gonna see in one night on the trip. Gonna be a fun time. Wow. Alright, we're officially looking for some salamanders now in the Smoky Mountains, salamander capital of the world. And we've already seen plenty of Plethodon jordani, like this guy here, the red-cheeked salamander, which is also my lifer. And we also had a Desmognathus imitator, which copies these guys. Oh, Frank, there's a nice one too on this log.
Jordani? Or?
Yeah, big one. There's a Cherokee mountain dusky salamander.
There's 3 Jordani right here.
Another lifer for me. Big win for the Allegheny boys right here. This has been a white whale for Frank. And I've never seen one obviously either, but That is the Blue Ridge Spring Salamander right there, boys.
That'll be my first lifer of the trip, I believe, right?
Yep.
I think so.
It's a smaller one, but man, even that tiny, it's gorgeous. So this is a new species for the night and another lifer for me. This is Desmognathus right eye, the pygmy salamander. And it is one of, if not the smallest salamander in the world. There's my hand next to it for reference, my thumb. You can see just how tiny this guy is. And they're very pretty for how small they are. They have a bronze metallic-y color going on with chevrons running down their back. A super cool little species. Well, that is another Gyronopholis porphyriticus Daniel's eye, the Blue Ridge Spring Salamander. It's a little larger than the first one Frank found. Frank's got a sweet shot right here. And the classic S signature Gebhard shot.
That's what we call a hammer.
That is a Cherokee blackbelly salamander, Desmognathus ginige smoltley. And that thing is an absolute giant. We're winding down for bed now. Looks like somebody took our spot here at the Smoky Campground. Whoever you are, hope you enjoy it. We're gonna get some sleep, get back at it tomorrow. Today was killer. Good morning from the Blue Ridge Mountains of Tennessee. We are in the Smoky Mountains, and last night was absolutely insane. We got all of our targets, plus some bonus black bellies there at the end, which were so cool to see. They were way bigger than I expected. Today, we are going to be continuing south to the Tellico River, according to the binder, looking for Tellico salamanders, Plethodon aurulus and Eurecia wanalusca. This trip's only getting crazier and crazier, so stay tuned. It's gonna be another awesome day. We're up here looking for Santillas. We got a couple and got another big ginige smoltley here. Saw a bunch of these last night, so we're not going to bother with them, but just another monster.
Look at that next to my hand. That thing is huge.
So that is Desmognathus santilla, a new species for me and one of our bonus side targets that we did this morning. And we're just along this beautiful little roadside stream. So pretty. Pristine salamander habitat.
Oh my God.
Made a quick stop down here at Abrams Creek. This is the lowest elevation in the Smokies. Frank's gonna get some B-roll footage for his project. And we got some beautiful mountain laurel blooming there along the sides. Really cool. Little stop for some ice cream on this hot day. I found a dope sticker. Heck yeah. We have arrived to the Tellico River, where we're going to be searching for Tellico salamanders tonight, and hopefully turn up a Wannaluska salamander. We just now explored these 2 culverts right here, and we turned up a few nice spotted dusky salamanders, Desmognathus conantai, which is another new one for me. Wild Man Frank alert. We just found this. Frank just spotted this absolutely nasty.
Yeah, take a look at that
conantai.
first.
Look at that.
Trying to pose them up.
Oh my goodness, dude. Yeah, we're killing the desmogs tonight.
Oh,
not literally. But.
That's a good time to take a note on what I just did. Do you guys see how I let him walk on my hand instead of grabbing him from the top? Grabbing the salamander from the top would have elicited a predator response, which would have caused it to be really scared. But since I let him climb on my hand as if it was another thing to walk on, he didn't get very scared, so he's just chilling.
Forgot to mention that we also did have a few nice seal salamanders, Desmognathus monticula. It's a familiar species back home, but nice to see down here in the Blue Ridge. We're going to begin searching for Tellico salamanders now. We're looking on these rock outcrops, so they like to inhabit the crevices. All right, well, there's our first individual of the night, and our target species, Plethodon areolus, the Tellico salamander. And their Latin name comes from the word gilded, and that refers to those gold flecks on its body, and it may be a little bit harder to see on camera, but it's very shimmery. So there we go. We're gonna see if we can find some more. This is a tiny one for some size comparison there. Frank proving that he is a snake man.
God, I hate it. It smells like terrible, dude. Ugh.
Managed to find another Tellico salamander. This one's a little bit bigger and a lot more shimmery, and trying to get the light to help you guys see those gold flecks there. But you guys will see that better in the images I'm going to throw up here in a second, because I'm getting some pretty sweet photos of this salamander. It's really, really cool. And this is their habitat. What you can see around you there, all that jagged rock edges. They just like hanging out just like this. Well, we found some bigger ones, and Frank's working on another one up there, but we probably got about 8 or 9 in total tonight. It's just what the Allegheny boys do. Here's another new species for the night, and it's a first for me. This is Desmognathus akoi, the akoi salamander. It's a pretty tiny one. They get bigger than this, and they have that geometric dorsal pattern. Nice. As that's going to do it for tonight at the Tellico River. We finished with several Tellico salamanders. They are so underrated. That was one of the coolest species that I have ever seen. We also got a few acohis, and I freaking lost a Eurecia longicauda with some 3-line salamander influence, which was so irritating because that is my favorite species in the world, in case you didn't know. And I freaking lost it in leaves, but Hopefully we'll find another one maybe tomorrow or later down this trip. Psych, I lied. There's a new species, the Blue Ridge two-line salamander. Eurecia wilderae. Getting ready to head to bed. Decided to do a little bit of cowboy camping since it's going to be such a beautiful evening. Scorpions, if you're watching, please don't crawl into my bag tonight. We'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning, everyone. We're back at it. We're getting some habitat shots of the Tellico salamander area, and then we're going to be getting back on the road here later today. We are going to be getting into our final state of the trip, and that is northern Georgia for Pigeon Mountain, and to look for Plethodon Party there, which is one of my most anticipated species to see on this trip, so I'm super stoked about that. But it's going to be another killer day. Let's get into it.
Sorry, pal.
Dang, hate to see that, man. Beautiful timber rattlesnake. Gotta stay hydrated. We're getting ready to continue down south, and we may make a little stop for a Chattahoochee slimy salamander.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna make a quick stop here and look for some Chattahoochee slimy salamanders. If we strike out here, it's not gonna be the biggest deal because this was just a quick, impulsive side quest. Well, it took us a little longer than expected, but we did turn up our target. Tiny guy, but that is a Chattahoochee slimy salamander.
Not much else to say there.
New Plethodon for the party.
Yeah, that's about it.
Well, despite it being a juvenile, we still got our target. And interestingly, there was like a race going on, and the people that were providing drinks said that there were 2 timber rattlesnakes just up the trail. And so we thought that was pretty cool. But we are going to keep on moving.
That makes me so sad, dude. He looks like
What's the dog doing?
Uh-oh. It's bow time!
We are so back, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, y'all, we're finally here at Pigeon Mountain, and we're getting ready to head down into a cave to look for some Eurecia lucifuga.
Not look for it, we're gonna find them.
Well, yeah, we're gonna get a bunch, and maybe some other stuff as well. Wanted to real quick show off Frank's sweet sticker collection. And if you'll notice that sticker right there, Plethodon Party, we're gonna be seeing that salamander here in a couple hours. And a bunch of other stickers too. No Brave Otter biology sticker though. Yeah, there's the barred owl. We've had a barred owl at every single location. That's sweet. All right, we'll see you guys down in there.
There might be a pigeon mountain there too, by the way. So
Yeah.
Get your life right now.
There's like a billion cave salamanders.
Yep.
Well, we already have about 5 or 6 cave salamanders, and I got my lifer Plethodon Party pretty quick. I'll show you guys that one here. That is Plethodon patrius, the pigeon mountain salamander. You can see that Carolina gold barbecue sauce color as Frank describes them. And pretty large plethodons, but what an awesome animal. Here's 3 beautiful cave salamanders, Eurecia lucifuga. It's a species that I have seen before, and it's one of my favorites. If you know me, you know I'm a big Eurecia guy, and cave salamanders are high up there. This is so cool. This is the Lost Wall at Pigeon Mountain. So sick. So we're up here at Pigeon Mountain. We got a beautiful Plethodon patrius right here posed up. And this is Mike and that's Bill. We met up with them. They're big into salamanders as well. And we're finding some cool stuff. And this is Frank, as you guys have been seeing throughout the video, but pretty cool stuff. Yeah, man. That's called a hammer. Little American toad to add to the night. Here's a good example of a Pigeon Mountain salamander displaying some of that natural camouflage against these like rusty orange brown rocks. These animals are so freaking cool, man. I've seen at least 15, 20 tonight. So this is a Pigeon Mountain salamander in a burrow, and I've actually watched him come out and eat little insects several times. How cool is this? Frank just got an insane catch.
Yeah, so we're
Check out this spring salamander, you guys.
getting our
Oh
camera
my
gear
goodness.
all out again.
Look at the side coloration. And it's also a giant too,
Oh,
but
can you show them how soaking wet I am?
oh yeah, we got absolutely drenched for that thing, but 100% worth it. Another look at the insane spring salamander Frank caught. Anything you want to say about him?
Honestly, just it brought me back to my roots catching that guy. Super tough, and it was really just all about the catch. We had to really bring it home in the fourth quarter, but I think we did good as a team, and just got to keep on bringing the heat tomorrow. So we'll see what happens.
This is exactly where we caught him. We're gonna let him go. He's right on that rock. Awesome. Well, today was another awesome day. We got a ton of new salamander species, lots of awesome photos, and tomorrow's just gonna be just as crazy. So let's get ready to hit the sacks. But first, I'm gonna make a little bit of dinner. Got some tortillas, some Wegmans canned chicken, and some hot sauce. By the way, it is 3:26 a.m. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, guys. We're gonna head back to the Lost Wall here and get some landscape shots this morning before we get back on the road. But first, Frank's gonna get some audio recording of some birds. Well, I was getting some shots of the waterfall and I took a nasty spill. Got completely soaked right in there, but I kept the camera above the water and didn't let it hit the ground, so that's a win. All right, y'all, we're about an hour and 30 minutes out from our next stop. We're going to be looking for a very small population of Chihuahua bald salamanders. They're restricted to only one mountain range. And then after that, we're going to make our way into the Nantahala for Shermani, Plethodon Shermani, and probably find some Akoes as well.
You want a water?
Yes, please.
We'll do 2 waters.
Gotcha. What else for you today?
That'll be it.
All right, it's 2309 at the second window.
Let's gas. Try out Freddy's.
New spot unlocked. Linear pickle check. No Chihuahua bald salamanders yet, but this is a Southern Appalachian salamander. It's a new one for me, and we're gonna keep searching for our main target. All right, well, no luck on the Chihuahua bald. It was our first actual miss of the trip. It's bound to happen, we're not perfect. But we're gonna head down to the Nantahala Mountains, get some Plethodon Shermani, which is basically the better version of that salamander we went to go look for. So we'll see you guys back in the mountains. All right, guys, so we are up here in the Nantahalas, and literally the first log I flipped, and I've got 2 of my lifer Plethodon Shermani, the red-legged salamander, and they are properly named. That one on the right is a younger individual, but it has some very vibrant red legs, and this older one here on the left has a little less red going on, but still very cool salamanders. Back to the salamanders. Plethodon Shermani is everywhere in these woods. We've seen several dozen. That's what I'm talking about. Stay in the plane of focus. Oh my God. At this point, we've lost track of how many Shermani we've actually seen. There's just so many in here. What these mountains may lack in diversity, they make up for in quantity. Here's a beautiful little one. Quick little dinner break, and we got camp set up before we get out for some more herps. What an interesting fellow. The Allegheny boys made quick work of that Desmognathus amphilicus. Now we're gonna go see if we can find a more attractive Echoe. Whoa. Who invited you?
Nobody.
This is Plethodon Holly and a stupid beetle. Y'all check out this absolute stunner of a Desmognathus Echoe. That is what we came up here for right there. Wow. This is one of the coolest in situs we've ever seen. This Echoe salamander, it's kind of hard to tell, but that is a baby Echoe on his or her head. How cool is that? Another all-nighter. It's about 5:30 in the morning, but we crushed it. That's just what we do. Good morning, everyone. While you guys were sleeping last night, Frank and I did not, and we pulled another all-nighter here on the Plethodon Party, but it paid off. We got all of our targets, and that red-legged Echoe was absolutely worth every hour we stayed up. And this morning, Frank actually lost a camera battery up the trail, and while we were going up to look for it, we managed to flip yet another lifer. This is Desmognathus aeneas, the seepage salamander, and they're very small desmogs, and you can see that Y shape on the head, which is one of the distinguishing characteristics. But it's another new one for me, and we're gonna get some quick photos.
But not in the water like a frog would.
I got you.
And they hatch out without gills, and they can...
Well, we didn't sleep at all, so I guess it was a little bit of a waste, so we paid $26 for this campsite. But I would gladly spend $26 for a shower right now. Ooh, yo. Apparently I was sitting in poop while I was photographing that seepage salamander. Oh, gross, bruh. Bow time part 2. Bow time! Looks like there's a little hooded warbler sitting on a nest in the rhododendron there. That is super cool. This dark one up here is Metcalfi, and then those three in the back should all be Proapsis as well. Alright, y'all, we're pulling into our camp spot. We're going to be at Gorgeous State Park tonight. This is going to be a first time spot for me and you too, right?
Yeah,
yeah, Gorgeous. Going to get to Lake Jacassie and spend the night there looking for some sweet Clemsonae and hopefully a lot of other cool stuff. But I'm super stoked to check out this new type of habitat.
Look over there, dude.
This is some really sweet habitat. Up there on the higher elevations, it was mainly all sawtooth oak and it was very dry. And as we continue down into the ravine, it has completely changed and it's become full of thick mountain laurel and rhododendron and giant Fraser magnolias like this guy. And I'm very excited to get to herping this evening. The Allegheny boys strike again. Ooh-wee! Look at that thing, dude. That is a Clemson eye.
Shall I say?
Here's a little unexpected find for the night. A little wood frog. So as far as Clemson eye goes, this is what we've been typically seeing. Those 3 individuals that we found were pretty nice speckly ones. This one has a little bit going on, but for the most part, a lot of them have just been pretty plain gray. Here's another one with some decent speckling. There's some evidence of Hurricane Helene and what it did to this area. Absolutely wrecked. New herp for the Plethodon Party. This is the Cope's gray tree frog. Wicked. So this is a new species for me. This is the 3-lined salamander, Eurecia gudolineata. And I've been within their range before, but I just have never really had time to target them. And being a huge Eurecia guy, this is actually a very exciting species despite how common they are. Get a load of this guy turning in early when the herping was just starting to get good. He's out like a light. Poor guy's been grinding though. Good morning, wake up, it's a brand new day. What's up, guys? Today is the last final stop, the main stop of the Plethodon Party Blue Ridge Bonanza. We are headed to Hickory Nut Gorge area of North Carolina to look for 2 arguably of the coolest salamanders on the trip.
You already know.
The Hickory Nut Gorge green salamander, which I've actually already seen, but the second one is a different species from the Yanalasi salamander known as the bat caviona or the crevice salamander. Plethodon Yanalasi longicris. It's raining again, as you can see. It's gonna be a perfect finale to end this awesome trip. Frank just finished taking a little dump, and then we're gonna get on the road.
Feeling very refreshed.
By the way, I have no idea how Frank managed to get up last night and get those shots, but he did it. We finished around 5 a.m. But this time we got to come back to camp and actually get some sleep. And we slept into around 11:30, which felt amazing. So
11:45, dude. Extra
yeah.
15.
So we will see you guys back on the road. So this is what we believe to be designate as camp eye, the camp's dusky salamander. We'll have to double check that ID. We'll stop for food before we get into the gorge. Can't wait for when these salamanders get hammered. just found this beautiful little eastern milk snake, Lampropeltis triangulum. It's a new snake species for the trip. Very nice. So that there is Plethodon longicrus, doing
Nice
what it does
crevice shot,
best,
bro.
the crevice salamander.
Sorry to interrupt you.
It's all right. Lifer! Another milk snake on the move. Seen several juvenile longicrus, but this is what we're after right here. This is the more typical looking adult. He's actually missing an eye on his left side there, but that's all right. We're still gonna get some cool photos. Nice to see an adult. Here's a nice close-up look at that adult longicrus, and I'll show you guys what that eye looks like that he's missing there. Not sure what from, but pretty gnarly. But this is that nice one we found earlier that we thought was pretty big, and then Frank just found this guy. Oh my god. His head is like the size of my thumb.
Whoa.
Wow.
Wow.
There's our winner there. That's by far the nicest individual we found. He's pretty big too. So many of them are out tonight. So I just finished getting my photographs and Frank's over here putting on a clinic. We're gonna get ready and walk up the trail to check for our second target at this location, the Hickory Nut Gorge green salamander. Haven't seen any over here, but we'll give it a quick look. If not, we're not gonna be too disappointed because it's not like our main target. So this is one of those cherry flatback millipedes. Does it smell good?
He sure does. Oh.
Oh. Check out this awesome habitat we're working through right now. Like, that rock is absolutely massive. This is another new snake for the Plethodon Party. This is a smooth earth snake. Dope. All right, y'all, we're back at camp. We're getting ready to head to bed. No luck on an Aedes curiensis. It was way too dry out there, but we did find lots of beautiful longicrus, which was awesome. They were our main target. The Hickory Nut Gorge green was more of a secondary target, so no complaints there. But we will see you guys in the morning as we hit the road for back home. So we got our first turtle of the trip. A little eastern box turtle moving across the road, but he was coming from either a stream, which is really weird, and he's headed up this steep slope. So I don't know what bro had in mind, but gonna help him out and get him off the road.
There's definitely something crawling.
It's another black belly salamander, wrong target. Another black belly. What the heck?
Is
Dude,
that one of the golden trout?
look at that thing. It's actually really pretty. I know.
They can only last like a second.
All right, guys, we got our shovel nose salamander finally.
Lifer!
Lifer! This is the last stop of the Blue Ridge Bonanza. We're gonna try and find some flat-headed salamanders in this small stream here in Virginia. Another lifer to end the trip on. This is Desmognathus planiceps, the flat-headed salamander, and it's a beautiful one. And we also got a baby, and I found a nice looking seal.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, gang, all good things must come to an end. That was an absolute adventure. I did the calculations. I finished with 33 lifers. You finished with 4?
4, I believe.
But I started with 33 salamander species already, so now I have 66 salamander species in the eastern United States, which is pretty rad. Anything you want to add before we close this adventure out?
I mean, honestly, I went out there to film for this Salamanders of the Appalachians documentary that I've been working on, and I believe at this point in time that I have everything that I need from the southern states, and overall just an incredible trip. I feel like we had the plan really dialed in, and
So dialed.
just literally missed like 2 side targets. It was just awesome. Yeah, there we go.
Trip of a lifetime. Thank you guys for tagging along. As always,
Thanks for watching.
hope you learned something new. We'll see you guys in the next adventure.